Welcome to Triforge Smithing. Jacob, the old man. We are celebrating 90 days of from the day we unboxed to today. And at the end of 90 days, we're actually making stuff.
And honestly, if you want to get into it, not with the context of wanting to make a business out of it, I mean, it's just a really good thing to use. I mean, 3 months ago, a little bit less, is when we tried our first forge weld, and it did not go. I mean, it went well, but it wasn't very pretty. This time we did it again, and it's looking better. Still not perfect, but you can make some useful tools just from very basic blacksmithing that can help you in your daily life, regardless of whether you want to sell it or,
You want some decorations around the house, for example. Like you want to make some coat racks or something like this to hang on your own wall, or a towel rack like we just made.
My wife would like collectively make another one for essentially a towel rack, but yeah, we're gonna have to make some hooks for that too because she wants to hang other little things. So we can make little loop kind of hooks, yeah, and that would be relatively easy. The hooks wouldn't be too hard.
Right.
We haven't made a whole lot, but we could definitely do it with relative ease.
Sure.
In my opinion.
So that's the point. At the end of 90 days, if you heard him say it, we could do that with relative ease. 90 days ago, how do you hold a hammer?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm talking about, this is how you unbox the stuff. We had critical failures all over the place, and yet persistence and learn from your mistakes, because mistakes are how you learn something. Success is just that. It's a great thing. You get to walk around, pat yourself on the back, and all the rest of that fun stuff. But the truth of it is, when we found out how not to do a weld, when we did the next one, we knew how to do a weld because we knew how not to do one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole point of blacksmithing. It's a learning labor of love. I mean, it really is. It can't be anything more or less than that. Jacob was absolutely right.
Yeah.
If you're just in the midst of trying to, I'm going to be a blacksmith and retire doing it, you're starting out the wrong way.
What you were saying was 100% correct. When you do something wrong, okay, I messed up here. Why did it mess up? And then you go, okay, I'm going to avoid that the next time around. And for the most part, especially if it's not something, leaves, I think, really were a huge teacher in that. I mean, even now, I know what to look for when it comes to not messing it up. And sometimes it'll still just mess up. But once you start getting to the stuff that's not so detail-oriented, it's like you already have it down. I mean, like I said, making those leaves was so easy just from the context of making even more easy to break, smaller neck leaves. It's like once you move to just making a leaf that's attached to essentially a pole, it's like, wow, yeah, no, this is so much easier. And you avoid a lot of the big mess ups you would have made by messing up the small things, essentially. Once you go from micro to macro, it's like so much easier. And but yeah, messing up sucks, but it's a huge learning experience, and it helps you next time around to make something even better. So
True.
Don't get discouraged by messing up if you do plan on getting into blacksmithing. It's a huge part of it. It's just some scrap material. It's whatever, So don't start buying really expensive material. I would say start off with exactly what we were starting off with, which is
Get some simple cold roll, fairly inexpensive. We've been buying primarily through Tractor Supply. That's not a plus for them. It's something you can go to that place and pick up steel.
Yeah.
And pick up some rebar. Come back to your forge and go, I'm going to make something out of this. And then just have at it. If it doesn't work, great. Fix it the next time you do it. You'll wind up actually in very short order, as long as you keep the consistency of I'm learning in your head. I'm not a professional blacksmith. You're going to see stuff on YouTube out there, and they're going to make it look so easy. But when you actually look at their channels, they've been there for 10 years or longer. They've got 20 plus years in that industry. You're not going to be there.
Yeah.
You've actually got to put the time and grade to get 20 years in. And when you're doing an Alex Steele, and that's a nice plug for him. Oh, by the way, Alex, if you want to give us some credit, we'd love to hear from you. Long story short,
Alec,
Yeah, you know, shout out, that'd be great. But his instructionals to say, this is what you should do for a homework assignment. Go make 100 leaves, all right? Go get some garbage round stock and make 100 leaves. You will improve your skill set so drastically just doing that. Learning how to control your hammer, learning how to move metal instead of beat it. It's a learning experience that you should not avoid.
Yeah, and that is also counting the failures, at least in what we're seeing. I mean, we made 30, probably about 30 leaves. A solid amount of them failed, and that was early on. And then, even just going that far, I mean, we can make even more leaves. And by the time we hit 100, I guarantee almost the last 50, last 40 are going to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
you had we pulled them off of a tree and then metal coated them.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get to that point,
exactly. But that is a good assignment. I would say that's one that Alex Steele.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's genius. Making something for the first time, which consisted of making a towel rod. We used some 3/8-inch round stock, hammered leaves on both ends of it to use those as the end piece finials. And then for the support arms, we took a couple of pieces of scrap rebar that we used, again 3/8, and free-formed those using some crude measurements, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was rough. It was, it was less crude than we started off with, but still very basic, just marking with pencil.
Pencil and chisel to give us some basic guidelines on where we wanted to stop and start hammering, because we wanted to keep the round of the rebar in there and its texture, but in other areas we needed it to be flat, to be a foot so that we could run screws through it, and then a curve of sorts to receive the towel rod itself, and then we finished the end of it with a nice little coil on the end of it.
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, it was just a nice coil, and honestly, the bar was pretty easy as well. I mean, it was basically just making a leaf as we've made them, except for I didn't have to worry about the neck of it breaking or the rat tail being too thin. I mean, you got to make it nice and thick, so they're able to make some pretty nice leaves, I'd say. They're probably some of the best I've made.
Excellent work, yeah. Put some cuts in it, give it the leaf look, not just the general shape. And then I thought Jacob was gonna actually, start throwing water on me, because when I was hand bending the coils onto the end of the support arms, I had this thing like 3 inches off my chest. So, turning a piece of steel that's just blistering hot. My gloves were on fire.
Yeah, I was looking to see if a black spot would slowly appear on your shirt, but I didn't see one at any point, so I think it worked out.
But other than that, cleaned them up, did the vinegar wash mostly on the support arms to get the scale off of those, and then wire wheel grinded the entire pieces, both the support arm that's going to be for the towel rack and the support arms, so that all the scale was off of them. And then we put a nice coat of liner black on them to finish the piece up. So now if you were to hang a towel on it, you're never going to shed rust or oil or anything else off onto it. It's got at least 2 coats of Rust-Oleum style paint. It's designed for steel and rust retardant, so it should easily take a damp towel without shedding off onto itself. The coating itself, the paint job was certainly a first thought, but if we were to do this again, we would probably, again, paint it black to give it that look, but then cover it over with a clear acrylic just for an extra layer of protection to protect the paint from any sort of bleeding off that it might do to a towel. We would simply coat the entire rod section. We wouldn't necessarily have to do the arms, but for uniformity, we'd probably shoot those as well.
Yeah, I would say that'd probably be the best option, but yeah. We'll have to see what the end product looks like with that too, because it will be glossier, so it might be a better looking finish for what we want, or it might not. Kind of depends. Oh yeah.
Years of martial arts training. But long story short, that gives you a general overview of what we finished up with. We're going to show you some of that end result here shortly. This is what amateurs can make after 90 days. We've got ourselves a towel rack here, made of rebar, cold rolled steel, hammered leaves at both ends. I, on the other hand, was responsible for taking the rebar and forming the legs and support arms to support this. If you want one, let us know. We'll make you one.
Like, share, and subscribe to Triforge Smithing. And I'll see you next time.